How am I? I don't know how I am. I don't know how I am. I don't know how I've come into existence. But I'm good. Everything's okay. Everything feels good. Everything is forward, onward, and forward. That's the direction of the day. Yeah, I've done more sketches, I think, of places that I've been for long periods of time, but I've done more sketches, and then those sketches turn into kind of, I don't know, dribbly, watercolory kind of things that you end up doodling with on the plane or something. Yeah, I try to capture whatever I find that's an interesting, even just an angle, even just something that's so asymmetrical that I'm fascinated by it, and I need to kind of remember it and capture it in a quick drawing, you know, and then I can chuck in little nuances with just a simple thing of watercolors. So yeah, I do have to capture places that I go. Yeah, I don't know, because it means something somehow to me. What I would suggest, just as it's an interesting exercise, and of course there are certainly psychological angles to it, but I would suggest not necessarily in a setting that you've seen before or anything like that, but just somehow draw your family, draw your father, your mother, your grandma, whoever was around in your life, your sister, brother, this, that. Draw them in various positions that you would put them in or see them in or think of them in on one big piece of paper. It's your image that exists in your head, and it's something that is quite healthy to draw when you start to look and see who ended up where and wonder why they ended up there and why did I have them playing a violin, you know, or whatever it might be. Because it's really about observation. It's really about observation and capturing a moment. It's not the most luxurious and quick and simple and easy click way. It's a sketch from your mind of how you see your family. I think you'll find it interesting. Oh man, my favorite animal to paint. After my old dog Moo, passed away, I was working on Public Enemies at the time, playing John Dillinger, and we were shooting out in some forest, and I got the news, and it was quite unpleasant. And then once I got back home and sort of settled in, the first thing that I felt I needed to do was I needed to, because I didn't see Moo for a while before he passed away. You know, I was away shooting, and so I wanted to see him. So I painted him. I painted him real big. It's a big painting, and that was one that was very difficult for me. It was a strange one. Normally you walk away from a painting and get some distance on it, but oddly when I was painting this portrait of my dog Moo, I remember that I liked being up very close to the canvas by his eyes because it felt like there was enough, I don't know, out of focus, there was enough memory left to sort of experience him better, you know. So I painted this big painting of my doggy, and whenever I see the thing, all I look at is I walk up and put my eyeballs 2 inches from his, and that's the way the painting works for me. So yeah, paintings work differently for everybody. To be like straight up the animal that I love to paint the most is the elephant. I like painting elephants. I like elephants. Yeah, they're kind. There's something kind about them, very kind. Let's see. I don't know, I like to paint all kinds of stuff. It depends on what jumps into my brain. Sometimes I painted buckets for a long time. It's hard to, I mean, I can't even explain that. You know, you'd have to ask some, I don't know, professional about it. But yeah, I did. I painted buckets for years. Thank you very much for your question. It's a great question. I suppose, you know, over a certain amount of time, you start to realize things that you allowed yourself in life and things that you thought it best to let go of or walk away from in life. And sometimes those things are very dear, and I mean dear to the point of it's truly a part of you, like the guitar, playing the guitar and playing music was my, well, is my life, was always my first love, and I did it, I started playing at 12 and taught myself how to play the thing, and I joined bands and then ended up playing clubs at a very young age, you know. So for me, it was immediate. That there was no question that the guitar was everything for me. Then suddenly, a couple of years, well, a number of years later, I end up in Hollywood without, you know, the band breaks up, and my friend asks me, why don't you meet my agent? So I did, and she sent me to this audition, and I got the gig somehow as an actor in some movie, and I didn't have much of an interest in it. You know, I had always planned to go back to music, and then made that film. But suddenly I found myself on this other road, which was acting, and that once I suppose that I was exposed to a lot of people, that is to say, when people started to recognize me, it was a very odd feeling for me. And I think part of that was because I knew that I had achieved, I suppose, a certain amount of success in the acting field, you know, from the TV show or whatever, and I just knew that I then had to make the choice to sort of say goodbye to music. Yeah, you know, I didn't want to, like, hey, I'm an actor, I'm on this TV show, come see my band play, or come see me play. I couldn't do that because I loved music far too much. I had far too much respect for it, and so I did the acting thing, and accidentally, and kept going, still kind of, trudging through the tundra there of that arena. But at the moment, because I did make the decision to unlock those barriers that I put upon myself, where I limited myself, I don't think I'll ever call myself an artist. I don't believe that's my place. I can certainly, and I do, approach my work, my music, my whatever, as an artist, but that's when you're commencing on a blank page. Even if you're an artist, at that moment, you're an aspiring artist, because you don't know what comes next. So I can't call myself an artist, but do I paint? Do I draw? Yeah. Do they mean something to me? Yeah, because they represent my interpretation of friends and energies and moments and the luck, the amazing moments that I've been gifted with in my life, you know. So, yeah, I'm painting a bunch, and it feels good. I'm writing and recording music. There's stuff with the vampires that's already sort of ready to go. There's writing, you know, as you say, am I writing? I find I'm constantly writing. I have always a notebook at my side, and I'm constantly writing. And whatever I'm writing at the time, that depends on whatever I've just laid down, you know, whatever I've just witnessed. I write all the time. Sometimes they're songs, and sometimes they're slivers of memory that will end up in this, what right now feels like a huge tome, which is a book I've been writing a book for about 5 or 6 years or so. Approaching that blank page is truly one of the greatest challenges that one could face. You know, if you can keep a sense of humor, you'll get through it. So yes, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff, probably a bunch of stuff I shouldn't be doing, but them's the breaks. You're lovely, Jackie. Thank you. You're very kind. I listen to, I mean, there's no one particular music that I would say that I am stuck in. Ultimately, maybe if I had to say I was stuck in one thing based on just being a guitar player, I would say some species of rock and roll. That's a big old wide veranda of stuff, you know. But I like everything. There are people in recent years that have blown me away. Run the Jewels, I believe, are not only brilliant, but I think they carry a lot of gravity, much more gravity than most people are used to. And so I have a great appreciation for them. I'm a huge admirer. There are those who stuck the landing and didn't even care if they did. Those are the ones that I admire most. Nick Cave, Shane MacGowan and his band, The Pogues. Jeff Beck for revolutionizing guitar in the same way that Marlon Brando revolutionized acting and reacting and behavior in the late 40s. Jimmy Page for creating a completely different style of music, you know. I'm a huge fan of, there's a band that I adore out of Australia called Augie March, and it is for me some of the best songwriting I've ever experienced, and is right up there in the Lennon-McCartney range. The main songwriter, Glenn Richardson, the singer, is, well, he and the band are incredibly talented. The song I would turn you on to would be first, One Crowded Hour. Listen to that. I feel like, you know, I should just make you a playlist and send it to you or something. There are many, you know, artists that I would love to turn my friends on to, you know, such as yourself. So I will get back to you with a list. How about that? Cheers, darling. Thanks. Create what you feel or what you find, whatever ingredients you use for a character, for example. That's one thing. Whatever colors you use to bring some sort of capture a moment with paint. The best advice that I could give is observe everything. Quiet is better than loud. Simplicity is a great luxury. It doesn't last long. Hang on to it, because all the simplicities that you build become incredibly complex ultimately. I would say capture what you want, stick to your guns, do what you believe because what's the point of copying or being someone else or approaching it in exactly the same way that everyone else does? There's no point. If you're looking to try something, and even if you don't know what it is, no, stick to it, keep chipping away. Sometimes you have to wait for people to catch up with some of the things that you've created and brought to life in cinema. Maybe they weren't ready for it at a certain point. Maybe they are now. But above all, stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Go at your pace. Do what you want to do. Don't compromise. Learn their game so that you don't have to play it. And above all, as I said, stay true to yourself.